What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is another Nerf castle or fortress, my third one. I've learned from the first two, this is bigger, better, and more tactical. So let's jump right into the external overview before I show you the interior. The fort is primarily constructed out of these blaster boards. They're customizable panels that you can configure in any way you want. But mine's pretty structurally sound, and it's based on 4 pillars, and in between those pillars I have panels that are secured kind of with these snaps on the side here. This fort is built into the corner of my house. My last fort was primarily just a big wall. This one isn't designed to escape easily. It's kind of designed to bunker down, like a bunker, you know, and completely slay all the zambies and just everybody and not ever leave. And that corner configuration is great for the interior space and the defensibility. I can shoot out of any of the directions. So I have windows pretty up high. When you're down on your knees crawling around, that's not really a big issue because they're so high up, and if you want to stand up, you can shoot out of these. Or you can poke your barrel through these little windows that are kind of all over the place to kind of snap shoot. And these flaps are one of the features of the blaster board, so when you put your muzzle back in, retreating, it just naturally shuts behind you. So it's not an always open hole, but it's more accessible than going all the way up there since it's nice and low. And to the outside of the fort here, I have 6 of the Nerf chainsaws, partially for the intimidation factor, but also so if any zambies happen to run up against the wall, it gets a melee kill, so they can't, you know, knock over the fort. On the front here, I also have a few blue jolts just kind of hanging out. Those are mostly just decorative. I have more jolts on the inside as backup pistols, but those ones look super cool. And they complement the blue team theme because I have the rival blue flag hanging from this pole thing. Serves no other function other than as a flagpole. And these inflatables over on the sides and all around here are by battle bunkers. These are just filled with air, so they're super light. Although I just built this like an hour ago, and some of these are losing quite a bit of air here. I'm mainly using these inflatables to cover up some of the gaps I have in my fort here. And for the cosmetic contrast, you know, a little bit of fort boards, a little bit of these, you know, it looks nice. Because who says you can't have a luxury and classy looking building as you're slaying all the zambies and humans around you? Hashtag style points, bro. So the fort's solid for any Nerfer with any blaster setup. Because of these little windows, you can shoot whatever blaster you bring into the fort out of these little things, but there's also a built-in turret right here. This is the Triple Nemesis project, which I already uploaded a video on my channel about. 3 Nemesis blasters secured together with 1 giant hopper holding approximately 1,200 rival rounds. Can you say overpowered? Yeah. Plus I've built the fort completely around this so you can be really hunkered down and not really able to be shot as you're able to spew about 1,200 rounds of foam. So yeah, overpowered. That's what I was going for with this whole bunker. And if you can see this GoPro camera secured to the outside of the Triple Nemesis, remember that when I show you a feature on the inside. So that's it for the external features of this blaster, or fort. Whoops, I'm in review mode. Anyways, the entrance to the fort is over here. So now I'll go left to right, covering all of the details on the interior here. Starting out with these 2 Terra Scout blasters. This feature was implemented in my last castle and I liked it a lot, so I did it again. So if you're thinking this Terra Scout's facing a wall, that doesn't make any sense. There's no real way to exit this castle, but there is. This part of the wall here is actually a flap. So when you pull on this string here, you're able to lift the flap and drive the Terra Scout out of the castle. Tactically deployed right into the action, assuming the action is on the outside of the castle. And since I have 2 Terra Scouts now, since I just reviewed the new Recon Black one, I have both of them lined up, both filled with the 35 round drums, and then I have a few extra drums kind of sitting over here. So after you're done, you lift up the flap, drive it back into the castle, reload, and shoot it back out if you need to. And the radios for these are up here on this little shelf built into the wall. And right next to the Terra Scouts right here, we have 2 bins of ammo. We have some waffle head darts in case you're shooting a Nerf blaster, or you run out of all these drums and need to refill for the Terra Scouts, and some rival ammo in this little plastic bin, and these are just plastic totes. There are 2 Nemesis blasters just hanging out against the walls here. You don't have to use them. You can come in with whatever blasters you'd like, but they're there if you need them. And right up above all of that stuff, we have this other built-in little shelf with 3 Nerf jolts with waffle head darts, as well as the Nerf grenade. Recently reviewed that on my channel. Very cool to be in a bunker, just be able to pull the pin, throw it over the wall, and hope you kill your opponents. And on the inside, you can see a different angle to these little snap shooting flaps, so you can just put your barrel through, shoot, and when you pull it back in, it shuts automatically. So that's the left side. Now onto the right side. It's pretty much the same thing as the left-hand side. 3 jolts up on the top rack, along with a Nerf grenade. 2 snap shooting windows, just like the left side. But I also have a Nerf rival Kronos over here. It's not equal to 2 Terra Scouts, but it's the thought that counts, and nothing everything else would fit right there. And down below I have another bin of rival ammo and waffle head darts. Like I said, it's pretty much the same as the left-hand side, just a mirrored copy. Now to the center turret. So the main turret blaster, like I mentioned, is my triple nemesis modification. This is a modified blaster, not something Nerf sells. I made a whole video on this modded blaster, so I'm not going to go over that again, but I integrated it into the fort, so it's completely overpowered. As you can see, there's very little room around the fort to be shot, so you can move the blaster freely and shoot whoever you want, but they really don't have a good option to shoot you. Is it fair? No. That's what makes it so awesome. But I know what you're thinking. Well, Frank, if you're fully covered, there's no way to see your opponent. How can you line up your shot? Remember the GoPro camera? I said to not forget. This iPad is linked to it, so I can wake this guy up, type in my password. No hackers. And that is a live view preview to the GoPro, which is on my muzzle. And I can also conveniently record gameplay footage so I can get muzzle cam. So if anybody's like, no, you didn't hit me, I have proof. If you don't have photos or video, it didn't happen, right? That's kind of how our world works now, unfortunately. And with this live view camera, I can actually completely hide, kind of like this, and look around just based on camera and shoot and hit people. I don't even have to be looking down. It's not technically blind fire because I can see where I'm shooting, but they can't see me. So it's pretty much as built into the fort as I can manage. I actually have these two hinged panels that can kind of flex with the blaster if you want to get really crazy about it. You could also use it as like a normal security camera if you just wanted to point the barrel at like a new corner or a bunker that you think the opponent's going to hide behind. And as you're moving freely around the fort or reloading, you can just keep an eye on the iPad there and you can see when they pop out. And either pull the trigger, throw a grenade over the wall, or you know, pop up and shoot, whatever you want. Is it fair? No, but my opponents don't have it. I do, so who cares? That's how fairness works, right? It only matters if it's the other team with the advantage. Don't penalize me because I'm winning the arms race, bro. So that is the main turret blaster. Now to the sniper's perch. So the sniper's perch is essentially a blaster board's wall with a little hole at the top that's really high up. You actually have to climb and stand on a little step ladder to get high enough up to look through the hole. The whole wall is supported by these two light stands, and on top I have a regulator suspended by a little piece of string, so it's always in position. You don't have to climb up here with a blaster. And the barrel of the blaster can rest in this little hole, so you can actually just shoot it really comfortably with only one hand. The blaster is loaded with a 25 round drum. I did think that's a little bit cheating. Sniper perches, you know, you're supposed to use a sniper rifle in the sniper's perch, and snipers only use 6-round mags, right? I'm cheating a little bit, whatevs, but I'm doing that because it's so difficult to reload or get to other gear. Chose the regulator because it's select fire, so most of the time I can be in sniper mode, just shooting single fire. But if I need to lay down suppressive fire or tactical 3-round burst, I can. Being elevated up here allows me to shoot over the wall, so I have a really nice view of just the whole field, really. And that is the sniper's perch. I do have foam pads all over the floor. You're crawling on your knees, so it's kind of, you know, comfortable. And this is the preferred brand by Matt's mom, because she's on her knees all the time. And I'll end on that. Yeah, that is the interior of the castle. So that is the overview of my Nerf Castle or Fortress 3.0. If you have any recommendations 4.0 or the next revision of the castle, leave a comment in the section below. Huge size to move around freely, big windows up in the top, temporary flap windows for the snap shooting or whatever, Terra Scout launch door, tactical jolts on the top, blue team flag, blue team for life bro, triple nemesis turret, which is just OP in itself, plus the sniper perch for tactical sniping all up in there. What more could you want out of the fort? Only partially rhetorical. If you have any awesome ideas, let me know in the comment section below. But that concludes the overview for my Nerf Castle 3.0. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.